This is a Matriarch, the biggest and baddest arc enemy in the game. And this is me with $300,000 worth of loot strapped to my back trying to fight it by myself. And despite what you're seeing now, it actually worked. The game makers have long stated that the Matriarch is a group boss. Well, they are absolutely right, and I should have listened. But boy, am I glad that I didn't. She has seemingly infinite health, so much armor her last name is Hammer, and once it is attacked, it spawns every arc in the game just to f with you. So it's not surprising that when the Matriarch map rotation comes up, exfil usually looks like this. What, did I miss the party? 20 plus raiders with gear worth more than a New York City penthouse.
Anybody got a blueprint for me? I'm an old man, I'm too slow to get them.
Coming together for battle, all in search of these things. Thank you. Matriarch cores. Competition is fierce, and this early in a new season, no one is just giving them away out of the goodness of their heart. Uh-oh, this seems bad. So as I was exfilling with 20 of my closest friends, an intrusive thought came into my head. Oh, I swear to God. If I didn't fight the Matriarch by myself, it's all gone! I wouldn't have to split the loot, and 20 Matriarch cores would be mine. I'd just gotten done with a fairly fruitful raid on Spaceport. Hold the door, hold the door, hold the door! When the playlist switched to Darn Battlegrounds. If Spaceport is the NBA of Matriarch raids, this map is a high school JV team, so I knew it wouldn't be as populated, but I definitely wasn't ready for this.
We never saw arc like this during the first wave.
Shut up, Celeste. I do the subtitles. I have a theory, which I want to know if you guys believe too. That when it comes to Matriarch raid, the more effective your gear, the further it spawns you away, letting the freeload out Freddies and their Pharaoh get in some licks before you roll up on the scene. So on most maps, these are a necessity to get into the fight quick, and I had brought a lot of them. But something about this raid felt off. Usually a minute or so after these spawns, your ears get hit with the sound of FOMO. Someone has popped shots, the menopausal Matriarch gets pissed, and all hell is unleashed. I was getting much closer and she still hadn't made a peep, and this meant either everyone with good loot also spawned in Narnia, or I was about to fight her alone, which presented a problem. When I got closer, I found her out to pasture, the world's largest and most dangerous heifer, completely alone and unmolested, which you can say, not a bad word to say in this context. But unlike that guy with the list, I wasn't about to touch her. I had good loot that would have made me a positive contributor in most lobbies, but not loot that would let me actually take her and her spawn down without donating my Hullcracker 4 and 75 rocket rounds to the same free loadout Freddy. On the way to exfil, I went full Nikola Tesla and took down a Rocketeer with this season's new meta of electricity and found 2 cores, which I then, obviously immediately turned into 2 wolf packs, spawned in with an even more substantial amount of firepower. Yeah, it spawned me in Narnia again, but at this point you guys know the drill, so here's some Mario music to help speed things along, but I need to turn it off now because the auditory FOMO is about to begin. It appears that our show has started. There were at least 2 other souls trying to do this. Add that to yours truly, and we were about to play some 3-on-1 until the Matriarch did some simple subtraction. Uh-oh, the forbidden firework. I thought that Raider flare meant that we were about to embark on this all by ourselves. Don't worry, my friend, I'm here. I think it's just us 2. You ready for this shit? He was, but unfortunately more people would show up, and although I did get some pretty substantial loot out of this raid, I'm a greedy YouTuber and I wanted more yellow gold. So I waddled my overweight self to exfil, hoping no one would notice the cores bursting out of my backpack. You guys come away with nothing too? Rearmed and redeployed. It was time. Whoops, that was my mic. We were now 3 out of 3 on horrendous spawns, and I had overlooked how many adrenaline shots I had left, so I eventually had to make my way towards her like a plebeian. Looking back on this, I should have kept at least 1 and checked the rest of my loadout more carefully, because by the time I realized my mistakes, I would be in a huge amount of trouble. I genuinely thought I was alone, but then I heard a very calming voice.
Take out the Matriarch? Or
yeah, you want to do this together? I was trying to do it solo,
yeah.
But I mean, you're a Jedi, so...
That's right.
A Jedi from Wisconsin, no less, so, a perfect combination, as you can see behind me. You got a defib on you, perchance?
Yeah, I got 3.
All right, same. I was just gonna give you one if you didn't. Thankfully, Badger was proficient in the ways of the Matriarch, even if he was lacking something I hadn't noticed yet, but first it was time for a vibe check. No BS, I really think it's just us 2. This pauses my brain doing a quick calculation. I mean, if you're gonna kill me, you're already gonna do it, so I have a bunch of wolf packs and infinite Hullcracker rounds. So let's do this shit. Yeah, vibe check passed. I was hoping to hear that he was also packing heat, which we'll get to momentarily, but first, Badger showed off his utility and brain. Oh, you got the setup and everything.
That was kind of a bad zip line. I usually try to zip up to the top here.
I got an extra one if you're more accurate with him than I am.
I'm trying to get this thing set up to the top here.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Just so you can kind of get out of the zone really quick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's going to spawn a bunch of stuff,
Yeah. This was obviously not his first rodeo.
And then
Out went 2 barricades, and we were now riding in the calm before the storm.
that's about all I got right now set up. But
All right, it was now time to get loud.
let's literate.
Yeah, let's do it. For style points, I started off with 2 wolf packs because it's important to establish your dominance early, and emptied my hull cracker.
I'm backing up to the hatch.
I'll come with you. Then the fireworks started. We were now entering the first and most dangerous part of the raid, and coincidentally the point where having a lot of people actually makes a difference. At least that's what I thought. It's not usually the Matriarch herself that slows you down or necessarily kills you, it's all of her mercenaries, which pin you down while she lobs bombs at you. All things being equal, the Leaper is probably the easy to deal with, especially given the weaponry I had at my disposal. Leaper's here. Their energy attacks are deadly, but Badger had set up the zips especially for this case. Deep inside his burrow, we were safe from most of the arc, but it was time to figure out what kind of arsenal he was working with. Are you tracking the anvil? This was gonna be a big answer.
Yeah.
Not super ideal. You got enough
I
ammo?
got 3 stacks.
Okay, I got an extra stack of heavy if you need it. Really glad he didn't take me up on the ammo offer, but let's go back to the Leaper. It was time to unleash the big guns, because we weren't just fighting the arc. It's a wolf pack, it should take care of it. No, he's still alive. There was actually a hidden enemy. Us and every human alive on this planet actually is constantly fighting. Yeah, we were fighting the clock actually. Just like every raid except Lockgate, which is 40 minutes, this one had a limit of 30, and we still had miles to go before we slept. So keep your eyes on the clock up there because it's gonna become very important. All right, 1 down, about 12 to go. A tall order, but you know, the reward would be hefty. I mean, the good news is, as long as no one else is out there just looting it, we get it all to ourselves. Basically, we were fighting for generational wealth. So my 132 hull cracker rounds and 2 remaining wolf packs followed Badger up to our command post, ready to amass a fortune so vast, our great-great-grandchildren would never know what a Matriarch raid even felt like.
You know if the big nades work really well in this?
Like the heavy fuse?
Yeah.
Suppose we're about to find out, don't we?
That's right.
Say what you will about the caliber of gear that he brought to this fight, but Badger was down to throw the kitchen sink at this thing, which is all I could have asked for. By the way, I tested it, and they do about 1/4 of the damage a rocket round does from the hull cracker, which, you know, not great. But hey, at least it was something. I stuck around and picked up Badger's end of the slack until the Matriarch looked at me like a disappointed mother. Anyone who's seen that look before knows you can't fight it, so I also went back to our burrow, and along the way, our second challenge spawned in.
Fashion.
This video should end right here, with both of us desperately crawling to the Raider hatch, living to fight another day, but somehow we made it inside relatively unscathed. I don't know how that thing didn't just kill us both. Oh my god. I was starting to believe that this was like fate. I lobbed my second to last wolf pack at this thing, hoping to, you know, soften it up a little bit. Because historically, and long before it was a gun, the anvil peaked in its effectiveness during the Bronze Age, making it roughly 3,500 to 5,000 years out of date. With 124 hull cracker rounds left, I was pretty bullish we'd get this done. So I peeked around the corner, lobbing shots at this roided out beetle. Like a good Midwesterner, Badger kept contributing. And I'm glad he did, because I still hadn't noticed my nearly fatal mistake yet. Round after round of hull cracker went out, and 90 seconds after the fight started, I had finished it, and it was time for our first looting test. Bastion's dead.
Okay, I think we should do this first. Unless you're trying to actually get Matriarch cores.
I mean, I kind of want to kill the Matriarch.
Killing it is... I've tried doing it too, man, and it's... Unless we both have, like gear for it. I'm just kind of...
I'm gonna go pop some shots, and then I'll come back down.
Okay, yeah. Sure, for it.
Bastion's all you, though. Have at it. I didn't come on this raid for Bastion cells, and I wasn't leaving without a Matriarch core. Plus, it turns out we weren't alone. Back at HQ, I started putting my 104 rocket rounds to work. You know, from this distance, it's not as effective, but I didn't want to leave the safety of our setup and proximity to the Raider hatch. I plugged away, thinking I'd never run out of ammo, which technically I wouldn't, but the observant ones watching have already figured out what my problem's going to be. She just called in her third wave of bad guys, but I figured it'd be boring if I just retreated to the den and hid inside, so I decided to make life more interesting for you guys. Uh-oh. So I accidentally missed a zip line. Thankfully, we had reinforcements too. I have bad news, Jedi. Or we got player 3. I'm kind of just in the middle of nowhere though. I'm like underneath the zip line. Ready for the best 4 words in Arc Raiders?
I would do that.
God, you're my hero. It's a really embarrassing death, if I'm being honest. Now are you ready for the worst 6 words you can possibly hear your mom say? Johnny Sins just showed up too. Turns out he actually is a doctor. After that needling from Jonathan, we had a Herculean task in front of us. Oh, they just keep coming. A Rocketeer and a Bastion were top of the order, and while many hands made for slightly lighter work, I had now realized my big problem. Yeah, so if this becomes a video, I've done something incredibly dumb. Yeah, my hull cracker was like about to break. My hull cracker has about 10% durability left. I've been so locked in on the potential loot and, you know, fallen to my death. Okay, make that 9% left. That I completely ignored the large exclamation point directly next to my gun. 8% left. Usually I just repair my fancy firearms because I don't care about efficiency as much as I should, but somehow this had slipped my mind before I dropped in. Now it was me who had to shoot the Bastion with tiny little anvil rounds. 3 minutes later, it was done, leaving us with 12 minutes to kill, loot, and exfil.
All right.
Now I had a choice to make. Do I ride this thing until the wheels fall off, or do I cower and wait for everyone else to finish looting and exfil? Honestly, the choice was pretty easy.
I'm gonna go lob shots at this thing until my hull cracker breaks.
The optimist in me took the zipline back up to our perch thinking, yeah, you got this, Sally. The laws of physics and arc raiders don't apply to you. You're special. You're a YouTuber. But when I reached the top, I had a sobering reality.
Rocketeer, there. Bombardier.
I wasn't giving up. My goalposts were just moving. I was gonna come out of this thing with a Matriarch core or die trying.
We only got like 7 minutes left. I don't know if we're gonna kill it.
Yeah.
I don't think we are, to be honest.
We snatched a few legs off.
That was Morlock, and I loved the way he was thinking.
Let's see which leg looks the weakest. I've been popping a few shots at it.
Unfortunately, this choice was about to bring our entire group to death's doorstep. We had to draw in close in order to actually loot these forbidden crab legs, so I opened up fire, which, you know, not surprisingly pissed her off, took cover, and checked how close my gun was to breaking when all hell broke loose.
I got about 6 more shots left in this hull cracker. Oh shit!
This was the beginning of a very bad 60 seconds for Morlock. I was standing in the only square foot of this building that wasn't an active battlefield. I wasn't going to move, but I did come prepared.
I have a defib, don't worry.
The Hornet lurking outside definitely complicated things, and the gas made it incredibly disorientating.
Bro, you're getting the brunt of this.
He wasn't done. We dealt with the Hornet that seemed to have borrowed about 1,000 HP from the Matriarch, and I was just trying to recharge my shields when I looked up. Either Johnny Sins was going to try and f that hole, or the Matriarch was going to stomp the yard.
Okay, that's not...
Poor Morlock. It was now painfully obvious that we needed to leave.
I hope these guys don't leave the hatch without us.
But when I stumbled outside, I saw what appeared to be an unlooted Matriarch part. Yeah, guys, obviously I went to loot it. Bombs were falling overhead, gas was everywhere, but my eyes were locked on this 5-container leg. The odds were not in my favor, but sometimes a man has to say, "F it," and ride it out. Okay, now it was time to leave. My stamina was zapped from the gas. Due to my greed, my shield was now broken, and I was about to be trampled by this very long-legged woman.
I'm about to die!
The worst part was the core wasn't in my safe pocket. I could have done some inventory management here, but I was in full flight or fight, and since my gun was broken, it was time to make like a commercial airline pilot.
I'm gonna try to get back to the hatch.
I healed quickly with a Vita shot and checked my inventory for anything I could use to escape with Badger, who was right next to me.
Oh, they called in the cavalry. I got 3 smoke grenades. You wanna get out of here?
I knew there was a Bastion out there somewhere, but as I was running through the smoke, the S, O, M, E, and W all got deleted. Badger was still fighting off that tick you saw jumping in, so I had to try and stay alive until he could maybe make it down to me. Remembering back to Dodgeball, I tried to incorporate the 5Ds, but I added slide and I really should have just added stay. I completed the staying alive task just about as well as I did hitting a zipline correctly. Honestly, this flashbang grenade just felt really personal. I honestly don't know if we can get out of here, but I'm gonna try to crawl to the hatch. Is that you against the rock with the Vita spray?
That's me, yeah.
Oh, Jedi. Do you still have that key? Because I'm about to die. If you can get down here.
It was time to let Jesus take the wheel.
This is gonna be the most scuffed getaway ever. Watch out for that Bastion.
While I've never actually ridden in a car with Jesus, thankfully he's a very good driver.
Hit it. Let's go home. Jedi, you're my man.